Hey guys, Team Pokemon here. In today's video, we're going over every single shiny I've caught in Pokemon Go. There's a lot of shinies to go over. I've hit the milestone recently of getting 4,000 shiny Pokemon. Now, I didn't realize when I hit it, because it's just been so cold lately, and I forgot to count up recently, and apparently I hit it during his Hisuian Typhlosion raid day, which was pretty awesome. So we hit 4,000 shinies in game, and now we're over 4,025. Now, you can see there's 3,478 in that top up there. That's because I've transferred over 500 shinies just for storage reasons. It gets tough sometimes with the storage, I can't lie to you guys. But let's get into the shinies. Sit back, relax, maybe grab a glass of water, stay hydrated, and let's talk about my shinies. We start with my first ever shiny in Pokemon Go, and it's a shiny Mareep. This one was my first ever shiny, my only shiny that I caught before 2020. That's when I took a big break after this point. I got my first ever shiny, and then I took a break from the game just for school and all that stuff, and then we came back and got this. We got a shiny Abomasnow. Well, it was a shiny Snover at the time, but we evolved it into shiny Abomasnow, which does look pretty good, and I remember catching this in a Target. It was during a spotlight hour as well. We took advantage and found the shiny, but then we got this, my first ever shiny of 2021, which was a Bulbasaur. You love to see it, just a classic, of course, but then my fourth ever shiny was pretty crazy. We got ourselves a Shundo Caesar, which is just absolutely crazy. I still can't believe that I had this. Like, it's just crazy at this point. My fourth ever shiny was a Shundo, and we got it from the Jesse and James balloon. So can we bring those back, please, Niantic? Like, those were so cool. We need those back at some point. But let's go on with the rest of the shinies. I'm not going to go too in-depth on every single one, or else we'll be here for years. But let's just go over what we got. Some things I'll say, like, that I have a memory of, like this. I got two shiny Misdreavious at a park while hunting shiny Drifloon for Spotlight Hour. Found two Misdreavious randomly. I mean, it was so weird. But then we move on to Machop Calm Day. We got Hulk here. Gotta love Hulk. And I think there's, yeah, Hulk Smash over here. So, yeah. As you can see, there was a lot of green shinies to start my Pokemon Go adventures. But then we got ourselves a Skarmory and a Bronzong, which was a Bronzor, and shiny Celebi, which the IVs are all right. Nothing too insane, but still cool to get a shiny Celebi. And then we move on to a Aron and Chimchar, one of my favorite starter Pokemon, so I was very, very happy to go ahead and get shiny Chimchar in Pokemon Go. And we move down to my first ever shiny legendary Pokemon, and it was this. It was a Groudon. It took me 86 raids. It was not fun, but we did get it, and it looks absolutely amazing. I can't lie. But then we move on to the Sneasel Research Day. We got ourselves a Cubchoo as well. We got a Suicune, which was actually my second ever raid for Suicune. Got pretty lucky there. We had Roselia Calm Day, and then we have a Latias and a wild shiny Gyarados. I wanted this so bad, and we got it during the Chinese New Year event, and it was just so awesome. I hope we get maybe some sort of dragon that could be shiny in the wild this year for the Year of the Dragon for Chinese New Year. That would just be absolutely amazing. We'll see. And then I also got this. How many days apart were these? 3 days apart. I got this on the house. A wild shiny Beedrill. It was absolutely crazy. Just after getting my first ever fully evolved wild Pokemon, I got this. It was just absolutely crazy. It was awesome. You know what I mean? But then we also got my first ever Weedle. Yeah, right after that, we got, on the same day, my first ever shiny Weedle, and then we evolved the other one into a Beedrill for whatever reason. I think it had better IVs, probably. But yeah, I went from getting my first ever wild shiny Beedrill and getting my first Weedle. But then we move on to Volbeat. I actually got this before Illumise, which is the one in my region, which is so weird. But when we move on, we got ourselves Ditto, and this actually starts, Kanto Tour. Man, I almost forgot about that. Kanto Tour. We started with the Hitmonchan, which was awesome. Got ourselves a Ditto, a Electabuzz, of course, Blastoise, Arcanine, Venusaur, a Geodude, which you love to see, a Spearow, which at the time was pretty rare as well. I think it was like from a research encounter, I believe. Yeah, it was like pretty rare to go ahead and pick this one up. But then we got ourselves a Cheeto Bird. This is actually my third ever Cheeto Bird raid. Got pretty lucky with it. But then we got a Growlithe yet again. We evolved one of those into Arcanine. Got a Golden Fish, which you love to see. This was actually my first ever shiny Magikarp, because my only shiny Gyarados was one that I caught as a wild shiny Gyarados. But then we move on to Hitmonlee, which I traded with my fiance, I believe. No, I caught that myself. I think I traded the Hitmonchan with my fiance then. Yes, I did. Okay. Just wanted to make sure on that. But I think I gave her a Hitmonlee for it. But then we got ourselves a Charmander, which I wanted so bad when we got to Kanto Tour. I mean, look, at that point, I hadn't played any of the comm days for it, so I really, really wanted one, and I got it with, like, I think it was like an hour left in the event. But then we got a shiny Zapdos, which was actually, I believe, on my 14th raid or something like that. I remember being like, dang, this is taking long. It's going to be like Groudon, but then I eventually got it. Then we got a Kabuto to finish up Kanto Tour, but then I got my first ever shiny Shadow, and this was on Beldum Incense Day, which is crazy to think that I got a shiny Shadow Beldum on that day. How perfect, right? But then we move on to getting some more stuff. We got Voltorb, Mewtwo came back to raids, of course, and had to raid for that one. I got it shiny. I got Bronzor, Articuno, so I completed all the birds, which was pretty awesome. Articuno took me the longest. I do remember that. But then we got Landorus coming to raids, and then we got Fletchling Community Day. And in the middle of that, I got this 98 shiny Tornadus. Incarnate form. Absolutely crazy. But there's something crazier that's coming up right there with Thundurus. We got another 98, which was absolutely crazy. Same exact CP. Both of them being 98% shiny. So close to that Shundo, if only. But then we move on. Plus Fletchling Calm Day. We got ourselves a shiny Beldum. We got ourselves a shiny Roggenrola, which I love so much. That shiny is so amazing. But then we go down to Shinx Non-Community Day. I marked it as that because later on in that year, we had a Calm Day for it. But then Rayquaza came back. Now, I traded one of them, but I kept this one, of course, because it's a 96% shiny Rayquaza. I got two of them. I lucky swapped the other one, but I did get two of them during this. It was during March. We had just had a raid day event for it. It was a lot of fun. And this year was actually when we had the debut of shiny Electrike, and we got two shiny Electriks, one of which was on the gacha, which was absolutely amazing. But then we move on to Tailo, which I randomly got two, I think in a span of like 2 days. Completed that shiny line, awesome. And then my gacha got this shiny, a Nidoking, while I was on a run. That was pretty awesome. I do remember that because I was like, oh wow, my gacha actually did something and didn't lose a shiny. But then we moved down, got my first ever shiny Trico, which I love that shiny so much. And then Snivy Calm Day, we got a bunch of shinies, my 150th shiny in the game. Crazy to think we're at 4,000 now, over 4,000. Absolutely crazy. But then we got a Plusle, just a bad shiny. But we move on. Aerodactyl, Trubbish, my first ever shiny Trubbish. I tried so hard for this event. Love that shiny so much. That is such a good shiny. So happy about that one. And then I got, on a Real Research Day, I got this, but also I got this. We had a good week on IVs, as you can tell here. But this was a couple days before my birthday, and we got ourselves a 98% wild. This was a level 1 Bagon, shiny Bagon. It was absolutely crazy. It was 18 CP. We absolutely popped off. And then you can see, before my birthday, got a 96% shiny Marill, and then nothing on my birthday into Aerodactyl the day after my birthday. So they didn't want to give me anything for my birthday, I guess. But we did get this the day after my birthday, a late birthday present, I guess. We got ourselves a 98% shiny Jigglypuff, which evolved. But absolutely crazy to see that in a span of a week, we got a 98 shiny, 96, and then a 98. Crazy. And then we got Minun, finally, after getting Plusles. I think I had like 2 Plusles, one of which I traded away, so I finally got Minun and Plusle. But then Swablu Calm Day rolled around. We got tons of shiny Swablus there. We did evolve one into Altaria there, which was pretty awesome. And we actually had the Mega debut that day. But then my 200th shiny was this shiny Plusle, which is, Plusle. Plusle, I was right. Okay, my brain. I don't know. But yeah, my 200th shiny, and then my 201st shiny was this, and its IVs are almost floor. But it's okay. It's a shiny Mew at the end of the day. I worked very, very hard to go ahead and pick that one up, and we caught it in May. It took me a couple months to finish that research, especially because at that point, I had a partially torn ACL, so I literally couldn't walk for a couple weeks. And yeah, then we started up. I think that's actually when we started up videos really on the channel of Pokemon Go during Kanto Tour and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, a monumental moment for me. But then we moved on to the summer of 2021, and that's when we got Snubbull, we got Murkrow, and then we got shiny Regice, 2 shiny Regiroks, which was crazy. I think we're on the same day, within a couple range of each other probably. And then we got a shiny Registil, which is pretty awesome, and another Regice. All the Regis were in raids during that week, and I was taking advantage. And then Gible Community Day rolled around, and this one was a lot of fun. I love Garchomp, and we did do a couple lucky trades with these, and we'll talk about those probably later. But then I got my first ever shiny Trapinch, first Regigigas when it debuted, followed up with a Yanma, a Marowak, a Alolan Marowak from a raid. Love this shiny. I love this Pokemon. It's one of my favorite Alolan variants. But then we got ourselves another Regigigas, which was awesome. A Kyogre from a Lucky Trade. That is from when we caught it all the way back. Actually, it was with that Groudon the same time they were out. I had got it after the Groudon, so it was technically my second ever shiny legendary, but we lucky swapped it. Had Tepig Calm Day. This one was a lot of fun. A random Natu. We had Mega Butterfingers. I don't know why I called it that, but I did. Then we got Meltan. Finally, it was able to be in the game. I was wondering. I remember I used to pop Meltan boxes thinking it could be shiny outside of events that it could. I was like, man, this shiny hates me. No, it's just because it couldn't be shiny. And then we finally got to finish that line. We got an Eevee, which we evolved into my favorite evolution, shiny-wise at least, Umbreon. And here's that lucky trade I told you guys about. We got a 96 shiny Garchomp, which is awesome. But then we move on to GoFest, right? This is, yeah, GoFest Day 1, which was pretty awesome. This was just a really fun day. We started with a Feebas, I believe. Yeah, and then we got Sawk as my third ever shiny of the day, which was awesome. I haven't gotten one since because it's not from my region, you know, it's not from my area, so that was pretty cool to get. And I got a Timple, which was awesome because at that point that was actually a brand new shiny, and so was this one right here. You know, we got 2 out of my first 4 shinies being brand new shinies. Pretty awesome. But then we go on, we got some Roggenrolas, we got some Gibbles, my first ever shiny unknown, which is a G. Got a lot of those now, but we move on. We got Timple. We got the GoFest 2021 Pikachu, which was pretty awesome. The Meloetta hat one. We got Kricketune, Krogunk, Trainer Club. This was the first time I ever met Trainer Club. Legend, of course. And he named this Scorpion. Yeah, we both laughed about it being like, that's probably a dumb name, but it's okay. It's sticking. But then we moved on. We got ourselves a Little Cup Skorupi. And another unknown, which was pretty awesome, Unknown G. We got our first ever Ferris Seed. We got a bunch of shinies rolling in. We got, then the second day was the raids. Every single legendary, actually, ever. Every legendary ever to come to Pokemon Go came out as shiny. It was absolutely crazy, or was in raids, and they all, the ones that had their shiny had their shinies, and I got 3 shinies on that day, then 3 wild shinies, but 2 Giratinas. Absolutely was, you know, spamming those raids. I love Giratina. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I was happy to go ahead and pick up a few, and got a shiny Groudon, which was pretty awesome. And then with Ultra Unlock came shiny Dialga and shiny Palkia. I actually got myself a Hundo Dialga in these raids as well, but we also got a random Gibble in there at some point. Oh no, I traded that. Probably traded it for a Gibble though. But then we move on with more shinies. We got ourselves a Pidgeot. We got ourselves a Heracross, which was pretty awesome. This debut was awesome because I love shiny Heracross so much, and we were able to raid for it. And I think I got one. Oh wow, wait, I actually know who that's from too. That's from my boy Johnny Kahit. Shout out to him. And we were able to pick up my first ever shiny Heracross. I have a few now, but still not that many. But then we move on to more shinies. We got Eevee Community Day, which was absolutely crazy. Caught a Castform randomly in the middle of it. I think this was in between day 1 and day 2, though. Not 100% sure where that Castform came from, but I remember catching that. We had a 93% Eevee, which I still haven't evolved. Won't talk about that. But we move on. We got ourselves Ultra Unlocked yet again, and there were some Galarian Pokemon that came out with their shiny, starting with Galarian Weezing and Galarian Farfetch, which is now a Surfetch in my account, and that thing looks great. Then we move on. We got a random Pikachu, Spearow, a Zelf Mesprit, and Uxie came out with their shinies. I still need shiny Uxie, so I'm hoping to pick that up at Sinnoh Tour this year. But then we move on to Oshawott Community Day. Shout out Oshimami on Instagram. She's an absolute savage. She loves Oshawott, so thought I'd, you know, shout her out. But yeah, then we move on to Fashion Week, and this started my favorite events, which is Fashion Week. I love Fashion Week so much. You guys know that I did my 10-hour stream on Fashion Week. Maybe we'll do a 10-hour stream this year on Fashion Week. A little bit of a hint. But we started with this on day 1 of the event, and I love this shiny so much. The Sneasel with the little shades and the beanie. Gangsta Sneasel, as we used to call the Wooper. That we didn't get shiny, but we won't talk about that. We also got a Nidoran, Whismur, Curlia's all over the place, Blitzel with the, what are we going to call that? With the, I don't know what we call that. The suit? Partial suit? I don't know. But then we got ourselves a Butterfree, which was nice. My first ever Alolan Meowth. Level 1 as well. We got 2 Dwebbles, which was pretty awesome. I do like Crustle as a Pokemon. I just find it funny. But then Duskull Community Day rolled around, and it was a lot of fun for me, as you can tell. A lot of shinies. But then we move on. Got our first ever Alolan Grimer, Apalm, 500th shiny in Pokemon Go with Giratina, and that was pretty awesome. I love Giratina so much. Every time it comes back, I rate it a bunch. But we got some pretty awesome stuff during Halloween. As you can see, some Spearows, of course. But we got this, a costume Drifloon with the hat. I was so happy to get this one. I think it took me like 13 raids. I was very, very lucky, and it looks great. But then you can see we got not one, but two shiny Darkrai's, my favorite Pokemon of all time. I was so happy to get some shiny Darkrai's, you know, finally in Pokemon Go, because again, it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Not one of, is my favorite Pokemon, and one of my favorite shiny Pokemon is what I was going to say, just because it's my favorite Pokemon. Gets a little plus points on that. But I was very happy to pick it up, and we actually got 2 hundos. When it came out back in raids for the first time since I had started playing, I got 2 hundos and 2 shinies out of like 100 raids. It was crazy. But then we got ourselves 2 Murkrows, and this was, I vividly remember it because it was the day after the Spotlight Hour. Didn't get a shiny, but then I got 2 shiny Murkrows. It was crazy. Like the next day, like within 5 minutes of each other, it was crazy. And I got my first ever Tauros as well, which was pretty awesome. Moved down, got my first ever Totodile, or second ever Totodile. I will be honest, I think this was on the toilet, but we won't talk about that. We moved down, we got ourselves another shiny Shadow. This was my second ever shiny Shadow. It was like a Gligar, which is pretty awesome. We moved down, we got more shinies. We got a shiny Bonsly. We got a Dawn Hat Turtwig, which is going to come back during Sinnoh Tour, which I'm excited to hunt. That's the only one of the 3 I got, so I got to go hunt the other ones. But then we got ourselves a Tangela shiny, Shinx Comday, which was a lot of fun, and we actually hatched a couple shinies with Happiny there, and I think we hatched another Happiny the day before. Yeah, I think it was the day before, but still awesome. But then we moved down. We got our first ever shiny Seviper, Swablu, Spearow, Caterpie, first ever Piplup, which we evolved, a 96% shiny Heatran, which was pretty awesome. Got ourselves a Mudkip. I love Mudkip, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, then we move on to December, and this is when Druddigon debuted in raids. But first, we got a shiny Reshiram, and then there's 2 shiny Druddigons, 1 day apart. I was spamming these raids because I absolutely love this shiny, and I think I actually did get a 3rd one, but I think I traded it. We'll see later on. But this was some sort of a dragon type event, I believe, and then we moved on to Christmas. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we got Sneasel, we got Zekrom. These 2 debuted shiny this year, and we got both of them, which was awesome. But then we got Mareep, a Seal, my first ever shiny Seal at the time, I believe. A Delibird with the costume, with the little bow. Gotta love it. Spiel with the costume. This was the year that it debuted in 2021, so I was happy to get it. And I think the Cupchew debuted that year as well, but I'm not 100% sure. But we did get it shiny, and then we had some Gibbles, and I think this, oh, sorry, was Recap Com Day. During Recap Com Day, we got our 600th shiny, which was awesome, but we got ourselves tons of shinies, including a 96% shiny Duskull. Don't know why that's not evolved yet, but all good. We move on. We got ourselves more stuff. We got Cubchoo, another Spiel, Turtwig, which we evolved, a costume Glaceon. I actually also got a hundo one of those. More Delibirds with the costumes, and then we go in to 2022. And I've had rough New Year's events every single year until this year, 2024. But my first shiny was a Poliwag. Yeah, it was just random from an egg. I literally hatched it from a 2K egg on New Year's Day. That's a great way to start 2022. But we followed it up with a Mindon a few days later. Again, I don't know why, the New Year's events just didn't like me. Then we move on to Machop. It was a level 1 shiny Machop, which is pretty awesome. And another 96% shiny Heatran. Both of my shiny Heatrans are both 96%. Don't know how that worked out, but whatever. Then we move on to Spiel Community Day, where we popped off and almost got Undundo shiny, my first ever one at the time, and yeah, that was pretty awesome. We got a bunch of Spiels, got an A-Run, we had a Bulbasaur Recap Com Day. I actually transferred a lot of these shinies away, but this was my best one, the 93. Cool. Then we move on. We got a Woobat, Electabuzz. Then we got a Glameow, a Mewtwo Lucky Trade, which was probably a Mewtwo that I had from beforehand. The same with the Kyogre and a Rayquaza, which turned out to be a 96. And this is actually the lucky trade that got my fiance a Shundo Mewtwo. It's absolutely crazy. Still jealous to this day. Schlundo, actually, Mewtwo to be specific. But then we move on to Hop Pip Community Day, and I had 2 surprises in this. On a Glacial Lure module, I got this, and then from research, I got my first ever shiny Galarian Zigzagoon. Now I know that has had a community day since then, but this was a very, very hype moment for me. This is one of my favorite shinies from Gen 8, so I was happy to pick that up. But then we move on past that. Deoxys came in raids with each of its forms. I got, I think, most of them. But then we got a Clink randomly, a bunch of Deoxys. Totodile, a trade. Oh, wait. Wait. This Hop Pip starts Hoenn Tour. Johto Tour, sorry. I'm getting my years mixed up. But look what we got from a trade with my mom. We got a Schlundo. She gave me a Spiel. I gave her a Dialga. Not a fair trade, but at the time, Walrein was really, really good for PvP, so I had to do it, right? And it was crazy. I got a Schlundo. It was crazy. I screamed so loud. But then we move on to Johto Tour. We got ourselves a couple Hop Pips to start. Not fun, but we did get a Totodile, a Cyndaquil, a Murkrow. We got a wild shiny Golbat, which was pretty awesome. And this is actually like one of my big events, first ever big events that I recorded vlogs for. And it was so much fun. But we got an Entei. If you guys want to watch that one back, I'm a little bit nervous in that video, but it's funny, you know, it's great. But then we move on to my first shiny legendary of that event, Entei, but then we got this, and this was really, really cool because there was wild shiny legendaries during this event, and we picked up a wild shiny Raikou, which was absolutely amazing. Had so much fun with this event, and yeah, that was just an iconic moment. But then we did get this, which was a Gyarados. It was from research. It was guaranteed. But then we move on. We got a level 1 shiny. We got Delibird. We got Woopa, which I love so much. But then we move on. We got ourselves a bunch of other stuff. A wild shiny Gloom, which was awesome. And then we finished the event with a Fanfy. But that wasn't it, because we did hatch this Pichu on the way out, and then got this Heracross from a raid, and then a Miltank from a trade with my mom. But we did get a Heracross from a raid, which was pretty awesome. Okay, your boy put down the camera because I'm not gonna lie, my shoulder was hurting. I was holding it for about 20 minutes. But we move on, and we got ourselves more shinies, including a trade that this was actually not a guaranteed lucky trade. It just by accident went lucky, and I got myself a 96% shiny Fletchling, which was awesome. But then we move on. We got a Gibble. We got ourselves some Alolan Executors, which you love to see. A Bidoof. My first ever one. Now I evolved this one because it's better IVs. I didn't evolve it until I got a second one. Don't worry. But then we moved on. We got ourselves some seals. Then Sandshrew Community Day came along, and we had both the Alolan and Kanto one spawning, which was pretty awesome. But then we moved on. We got ourselves a Alolan Grimer. We got ourselves a Alolan Mola. Yeah, that was cool. And then we moved on from that, and we got ourselves our first ever shiny Smeargle, which was pretty awesome. That was cool. And then we got our first ever shiny Illumise. Like I said earlier, I had gotten Volbeat before this one, which is just so funny because it's not from my region. But then we move on. We got ourselves some more shinies. We got some Dittos. This was a fun, I believe, April Fool's event. Yeah, this was during the April Fool's event in 2022. Had a lot of fun with that. We actually got Paris Spotlight Hour before that as well. We got 2 shinies, well, actually 3, and a lot of Stardust because Paris is a Stardust boosted Pokemon, and I caught every single one. I think I gained like 500,000 Stardust in an hour. It was crazy. But more Ekans, and I think we did get the Castform and, more Dittos, and we got the Ekans and Castform on that, day as well, which was pretty cool. And then I got this, my first ever Field Research Breakthrough Shiny, which was pretty awesome. Because I don't think I've gotten one since. I've had bad luck with Field Research Breakthroughs. But we move on to Absol. We got Thundurus in raids, Therian Thundurus, and then Mudkip Community Day. Yes, it was a classic calm day, but I didn't care. I love Mudkip so much. I took advantage as much as I could. Caught a bunch. Did get a hundo, which was pretty awesome, but unfortunately not shundo. But then we move on. We got our first ever shiny Rockruff, which I since evolved into my favorite form of the Lycanrocs, and we can't now evolve it into Dust form, which we learned. But it took me forever to find that shiny, and I love it so much. But then we move on to Easter, and I've always had good times during Easter, so I hope we could do that again this year. But we did get this, a 96% shiny costume Pichu, sorry. Imagine if that was a shundo, would have been crazy. But this was the year that Bunnelby debuted, and I got that as my first shiny of the event. And then also got another one not too long after. It was absolutely crazy. Got so many chances. A random Oshawott, a 96. And then I think the Execute, I think it was Research Day? Yeah, Research Day. I did get a hundo during this, and I got 2 96 shinies, which was really, really cool. And we got a bunch of eggs, which was also pretty cool. But then we move on. We got an Eevee with the hat, which is pretty, with the flower crown, and more stuff, including a second Trubbish, which I love that shiny so much. But then we move on. We got Stuffle Community Day, where I got 2 hundos. And my fiance got a Shundo. It was absolutely crazy. She got a Shundo Beware now. She evolved it from Stuffle, but yeah, that was her second ever Shundo. She only has one less Shundo than me, and let's just say I have like 10 times her shinies. She has like 500 shinies in game though. She's a baller. But then we move on. We got ourselves a Xatu, and then Kangaskhan Mega Raid Day came out, and we got 3 shinies then. I had to take advantage of that because, of course, it is not in my region, so I definitely wanted to take advantage of that. But we move on to Landorus coming back in raids, well, in its Therian form now, and then we got something pretty awesome. We had the flying type event, and we got a wild shiny Charizard. This was so cool to get. I was so happy about it, and I remember at the time being just so hyped about it. We got to speed things up, though, because we still got a lot of shinies to go through. So then we move on. We got some Magikarps, a lot of them. As you can see, that event really liked me. We got a Alolan Geodude comp day for whatever reason. Didn't have both Geodudes, but whatever, I guess. And then we move on to the summer, where we got ourselves some Executors, but I think this does start, Go Fest 2022. Now, we did have advantages of having remote raids, of course, for these Kyogres before the event fully went live. I took advantage, got 3 shiny Kyogres in the span of, I think it was like 25 raids, and that's when you used to not have a remote raid limit, of course. But you move on, and we got ourselves a shiny Shelmet, and I think that was my first ever shiny of the day, and that was a brand new shiny of that year, and we got our 1000th shiny on the 3rd ever shiny from 2022. It was absolutely amazing. I was super hyped about it. It was a C-Dot, which actually at the time was my first ever shiny C-Dot, and shiny Mudkip. Love it. It pops up so much. But then we got ourselves a Slackoth, we got Cubchoo, Magnemite, just so many spawns. We got another Shelmet, which was awesome. A Groudon from raids. Both Groudon and Kyogre were in raids at the time. Unknown G. It likes me. I don't know, GG, I guess. But I've gotten 3 of those, and that one is a level 1, though, which is pretty cool. Then we move on. We got a Swinub. We got Axew. This was actually the debut for this year, and I went so hard on Axew raids. Didn't get any on day 1, but got one on day 2, which was absolutely amazing. Then we got ourselves a Burmy, which evolved into Maltham, which I was so happy about because that is such a good shiny. And yeah, so we're still going. And we actually got this. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. We got this in raids, a 96% shiny Groudon, which is now best buddied and just an absolute savage. But we got that right after the event. This was during it was right after Go Fest. I forget what event that's for though. But then we watched a brand new Jurassic World movie at the time, and let's just say not a lot of people liked it, and let's just say I didn't. I don't know. It was all right. But we did get this while walking out of the movie, which is pretty cool. But then we move on. We got, oh, that's right. This was during Adventure Week. Really fun event. And we had Research Day. And I only got 1 shiny Cranidos, which was my favorite of the 2. But I got tons of Shieldon. And I got a Hundo Shieldon that day. So that was pretty cool. We also got a random Apom, Onyx, and Ammonite in the wild. Also cool. But then we move on. We got more shinies. We got more lucky trades. We got ourselves tons of shiny Groudons. I knew I needed XLs for it for the future Primal, and I took advantage. We also got 3 shiny Mantines. This was absolutely crazy. They had a Spotlight Hour, and I went off on like 600 encounters. I got 3 shinies. Amazing. But then we move on. We got a Yanma. We got a Mewtwo, Meltan, more Mewtwo's, more Dittos. This was during the TCG event, I believe. And that was a lot of fun. We got ourselves tons of shinies. And Shiny Numel, which debuted in Go Fest, and this one helped me complete my line. We got a bunch of dinos from Dino Community Day. That one was a lot of fun. Mewtwo, Articuno came back. The bunch of, again, the Kanto legendaries came back, so took advantage of that. Got ourselves a Magikarp, which evolved into Gyarados, of course. And then we got ourselves a Party Hat Charizard from our first raid. I will never forget that because I remember just being baffled by it. It was first raid. It was absolutely crazy. But then we move on. Got ourselves a bunch of stuff. Got Starly Community Day, which was a lot of fun. Got ourselves, and then this, I think, unless I'm mistaken, yeah, this starts Seattle. Okay, then we got a Lotad, and then we had a little bit of a shiny drought, but it's okay because we were saving up for Seattle, which was awesome. We traveled all the way to Seattle for Go Fest, and we started with this Lunatone, which I showed Cruise Ship, and he was very happy about it. But then we move on. We got ourselves a lucky trade, which was pretty cool. With my fiance, we swapped a Groudon Mewtwo. Of course, how funny is this, by the way? We have gone lucky 2 times at major events, which is awesome. We did it in Vegas and we did it in Seattle. So hopefully we go lucky when we're at Kanto Tour, I guess. But we got ourselves a Electabuzz, which was pretty cool. We got ourselves Fungus, which was the brand new shiny. It was actually from Europe. We had brand new shiny Combi, which my first ever one was a female, which was absolutely crazy. I remember everybody going crazy trying to find this, and I did find it from research. It was awesome. GoFest 2022, Seattle. But then we also got ourselves a Pikachu with the little flowers. Then we got ourselves the Shaman flowers. We also got ourselves a Pansear, which was awesome. Got ourselves some unknowns from the unknown minutes. We took advantage of those. I'll never forget it. I remember we got the S and the A in the same minute as well, which is cool. And then another Combi, but this one being a male. We got a Mantine. We got a 96% shiny Darkrai, which I love so much. I was so happy. This is my best one as well. But then we also got ourselves not 1, but 2 Cowboy Hat Snorlax, and they're both called Sheriff Laxi and Cowboy Hat Snorlax. But yeah, we moved on. We got some Bulbasaurs. We got ourselves some Sableyes. We got another Combi. I actually got 2 female Combis, which was cool, but I traded one to my friend Reese, which you guys have seen in vlogs before. Then we got ourselves, unless you're new to the channel, I would go check out the Christmas vlogs. But we got ourselves some Yamask. We got Fungus. It absolutely loved me during this event, and I was not complaining. Got ourselves another Darkrai. Got ourselves a bunch of shiny Cottonies, which was cool. And I think this other shiny debut during this event was Panpour, which I didn't get, but I did get my first and second one ever coming up towards the end of the video. But we got ourselves a pretty good IV Togetic, which was awesome. Got ourselves another Combi, a Cranidos, Skorupi, Dialgas everywhere. And then we got this at the Seattle Sounders game, which was pretty cool. We went to a soccer game out in Seattle, and we got ourselves a shiny Darkrai while at the stadium. It's pretty awesome. But then we got ourselves an unknown shiny T, which was pretty awesome because I traded with my fiance. It was a spare that she had. I didn't get it. I really wanted it because Tony, right? But yeah, her name starts with an A. My name starts with technically an A, but you know, everybody calls me Tony. So T, we swapped an A for a T. Didn't go lucky, but it is what it is. But then yeah, got a bunch of Dialgas, got a bunch of Darkrai's. And then Braviary Raid Day came along. We got 2 shinies and I think a Hundo, unless I'm mistaken. That was a lot of fun. Got ourselves a couple shiny Drifloons, a couple shiny Palkias, and these 2 were actually back to back, which was pretty awesome. That was awesome during the raid hour. But then we move on. We got ourselves a Woopa. Gotta love Woopa, and got ourselves a Blitzel, got my first ever shiny Corphish, which was pretty awesome. At the time, this was pretty darn rare. Sevilla was the only really event that you could get it, and I think still now it's decently rare. But then we got ourselves a Carablast also, which was awesome. That one I struggled to get during the GoFest, and I was very happy to pick that one up. Also got my first ever shiny Venipede in its debut event, which was awesome. And then Galarian Zigzagoon and Calm Day rolled around, and we got tons of shinies there. Played that with my fiance, my brother, had a lot of fun. But then we move on through 2022. I'll just stop. I mean, you guys can see the shinies. I'll just stop when there's something that I want to talk about. But there's a lot of shinies here. We have the debut of shiny Munna. Oh, wait. We do want to stop here. This is GoFest 2022. Global. So we do want to stop here. I think we started with, what did we start with on that day? Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm scrolling through that. Yeah, so I think it was after the Ghastly, right? Yeah, so we start with the Scyther. From the Scyther down, we had 2022 GoFest Global, which was pretty awesome, and we were hunting for the brand new shiny Munna, which was pretty awesome. And I think there was there another shiny that debuted in that event? I don't think so. I think it was Munna, right? And then we had the chance for all the Panpours and stuff, and didn't get any of them, but we did get a Numel, which was awesome, and a bunch of other cool shinies, so I'm not going to complain. Then Deoxys came back in Rage. We got Yungoos, which actually started the season of Alola, I believe, and we got it on the second day, but after like 500 encounters. It was so common. We had like 700 encounters on that thing, but Inkay was everywhere for a research day, and we also got our first ever Alolan Rattata and another Galarian Zigzagoon. That thing loves me, and there's another one over here. But yeah, as you can see, just so many shinies. We had Deoxys come back to raids. Inkay research day was a lot of fun. Alakazam, we evolved that from an Abra randomly. Got a couple of those. Elgyem, brand new shiny, debuted. Got a few of those, was pretty happy about it. And funny enough, all 3 of those were caught on the last day of its debut event. It was absolutely crazy. I think I had like 900 encounters, no shinies. Last day, had like 193 encounters, 3 shinies. It was absolutely crazy. But then we moved on to this. We got ourselves a Galarian Meowth, our first ever one. It's now a Berserker. Looks great. Galarian Stumpfisk, had a bunch of cool shinies. Rock and Roll Calm Day, which I actually couldn't play as much as I wanted to. I had transferred a few from there, but wish I could have played a little bit more. I love that shiny. But Quillfish, my first ever shiny Quillfish, that was pretty cool. Move on, we got more and more shinies, and back to Fashion Week. And this one is 2022 edition. and we had a lot of fun. We got ourselves a Toxicroak, Shinx, Absol, Butterfree, Curlia, Murkrow, just so many shinies, and Yveltal debuted. And we got not one but two Bacon Birds, and one more, two more. We had this one and one more, which I'm going to tell you guys a little bit later. You guys know, if you guys know, I may or may not have a Shundo Bacon Bird. We'll talk about it. But then we got ourselves some shiny Gyarados. This is actually during the Mega Raid Day. Had a lot of fun with that, and I did swap one with my fiance just to see if we could go lucky. Also did hatch this. Got a couple shiny Furfros too. Forgot to mention those. All the Butterfrees, all that stuff during, the Shinx, the Brogunk, all that stuff during, Fashion Week. A lot of fun. But then we move on. We got Xerneas shiny debut, which was awesome. Looks great. We had Litwick Community Day, which is awesome. So many shiny Litwicks. Love that shiny. We got a Ninetales, which came from a Vulpix. We had ourselves Giratina come back to raids, and it came back in its origin form. You guys will see that right there. There it is. Hi. And yeah, we had a bunch of cool spawns. We had a bunch of Yamask that we got shiny. Ekans, Gengar, which was cool from a Ghastly. A Gorgeous. This was the brand new shiny with the costume. Pumpkaboo. It only came out with the costume. So the one without the costume was actually more rare at the time. So that was pretty cool. We also got ourselves more shinies here. Pikachu with the little bit of Halloween attire. Got ourselves a Galarian mask and a Yamask Noibat, which was pretty awesome. We did have a Calm Day not too long after, but it was still really, really cool to get in this event. Then we did get this, a bunch of Dratini's during Recap Community Day. We also did get a Hundo, which we now have 3 of. But we move on. Got ourselves a random Miltank, which was awesome. Actually, wait, this was caught from the Battle League, GBL day. But we move on. We got Bellsprout, another Giratina, and another Giratina after that. Gotta love it. We got ourselves Voltorb, Mamoswine, Swirlix, which I love so much. Teddy Ursa Calm Day. We had COVID during that day, during that event, so we couldn't really play too much, unfortunately. But we move on. We got ourselves more shinies. We got this Near Shundo. Near Shundo Staryu from Research. It was absolutely crazy. Got ourselves a Near Shundo also with Rattata, kind of. Also got a shiny Bidoof. I told you guys I didn't evolve one until I got a second one. But we move on. We got ourselves the raid day for the Hoenn Starter Legends, which was also Hoenn Starters Megas. I keep saying like weird stuff. I don't know. But we move on. We got ourselves a bunch of shinies there. We got 4, which was a lot of fun. We got a Hitmonlee randomly, which was during a fighting type event, and a Pikachu. Random. But yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. Got ourselves shiny Bergmite on the first day of its event, which was awesome. That was the day that it debuted. And we also got more Spiels. It loved me. And then I had a Spiel that wasn't it because we had Recap Calm Day, which whatever. We move on past that, and then we had Spotlight Hour for Bergmite. We got 2 more shiny Bergmites, which was absolutely amazing. Also got ourselves our first ever Stantler with, that was actually our first ever Stantler in general, but it had the costume as well. Had a Glalie, which we evolved from a Snorunt. Got a Mega Glalie from it. Some Avalugs from Avalug, Hisuian Avalug from Avalug Raid Day, and we move on. Bergmites, again, that thing loved me in its debut event. We also got this, a Near Shundo with Galarian Zigzagoon. Why couldn't you just be Shundo? Then we move on to the start of 2023, which was one of my best years in Pokemon Go ever. So we're going to go quickly through this because you guys probably have seen that video where I went over all my 2023 shinies. Let's just say I caught over 2,000 shinies last year. It was absolutely crazy. Easily my best shinies, shiny haul in Pokemon Go. But we'll go through it really quickly. We got Party Hat, Wurmple, Heracross. We started with some birds, Chespin Calm Day, Swirlix, shiny Shadow Machop. Gotta love it. Then we had Larvitar Classic Calm Day. Also got ourselves a Noibat up there. Pretty cool. Move on. We got Galarian Zigzagoons. We got Magikarp level 1. Gotta love it. Tapu Koko. Throw. My first ever shiny Throw. Never got one at that Go Fest back in 2021. Then it debuted. Took me all the way until 2023 to get it. But I got it nice and early in February. Or actually, I think it was January. But we move on. Got a shiny Shadow Magnemite. First check. That was absolutely amazing. Noibat Calm Day was a lot of fun. With a surprise at the end with the shiny Shadow Beldum. Then we move on. Got ourselves more shinies. Tapu Lele. Loved this research day, I believe. Was a lot of fun. We got ourselves tons of shinies. Actually hatched a shiny Smoochum, which was cool. Spritzy. I don't remember where we got that Spritzy from, but whatever. Then we move on to one of my favorite events, Las Vegas Hoenn Tour. We started with this, a Meditite, and then we had some internet issues, but we did end up getting a Zigzagoon and a Rainy Chaos form, which was awesome, and did meet up with my boy Johnny Cahites and traded this. And we got a 96% shiny origin form Giratina. Use it in raids all the time. Gotta love it. Then we move on, got ourselves more stuff. Mudkip. Gotta love Mudkip. A 666 shiny Volbeat. Got ourselves more shinies. We got a Unknown E, which was cool. Got a Babagon. We got a Castform, Lunatone. Traded with some friends. Got ourselves some Kyogres. Got ourselves more shinies everywhere. Kyogre. Relicanth, I forgot. I did trade a lot of these. I traded 6 Relicanths away. I also did trade away some Tropius and Torkoal. But I did end up hatching, I think it was 6 Relicanth, 4 Torkoal, and 2 Tropius, and I traded one of the Tropius away. But we got ourselves a shiny Kecleon, which was pretty awesome. My first ever shiny Kecleon, and we did get a second ever one, but still, we'll talk about that later. Just love that shiny. It was so cool. It was such a cool addition. It debuted on Chespin Calm Day, and then we randomly got it shiny. Well, not randomly. They told us we were going to get the shiny at Hoenn Tour, and everybody was freaking out trying to get it. I got it on day 2, I believe, or was it day 1? No, I think it was day 2. Then we got it. Yeah, it was day 2 for sure. Then we got our first ever shiny Spinda. Moved on. Got our first ever tiny shiny. Forgot to mention our first ever huge shiny was a Noibat. But then we move on. From this event, we got tons of shinies, as you can see there. Sunny Castform, level 1 wild shiny Latias. This is actually global. We got a Torkoal, which was actually back-to-back. Traded my second one away. Got ourselves a bunch of Cacneas. A Shedinja, that's a 96 from research. Thank you. Got ourselves a level 1 Clamperl and traded this with my friend John. Shout out to John for trading me this. He actually needed, I forget what he needed for this. I gave him something that he needed, and he gave me this because he had a spare one. I was very happy about it. But we move on. We got an Unknown E. We got a Sableye that was a 98, which is awesome. Near Shundo. We got a Shuppet that was a 93. Torchic. A bunch of shinies. We got a Kyogre from a raid, cool. Shout out to James for this trade. We got a Galarian Mr. Mime. I gave him something that he needed. I think it was a Relicanth. I think that was for a Relicanth. Very good trade for me. I didn't have that. We actually evolved it from Galarian Mr. Mime. We also got a Spiritomb, which I traded for a Torkoal. Again, stuff. My Torkoals in Relicanth were going for top dollar. But yeah, we move on. We got ourselves a shiny Shadow Magnemite right as we got home back to PA. But we move on with the Rayquaza. Tornadus came back in raids. We got a Mr. Mime from a trade for Tropius. Again, my eggs were paying, people were paying top dollar for my shinies. But we move on. We got ourselves our first ever shiny Tyrogue. Got another random Bergmite, which was awesome. Got our 2,000 shiny. Crazy to say, we're already on 4,000 shinies, and this was in what day was that? March 10th, 2023. We've got 2,000 shinies since then. That's insane. That's like that's insane. But we move on. We got ourselves a Shundo. Yes, a Bacon Bird that we did in a lucky trade. And it's so funny because my friend told me, hey, wait until our lucky trade to max out your 98, because I was going to max out my 98 Yveltal. He said, wait until our lucky trade, see if you get a Shundo Bacon Bird, and we'll see what happens. Ended up getting a Shundo Bacon Bird, and I maxed it out instantly, screamed my head off. But we move on, got ourselves more shinies, got Slowpoke Calm Day, we got just so much stuff. Another shiny Shadow Beldum, shiny Trubbish, shiny Ditto. We got more Mewtwo lucky trades, still trying to get that Shundo like my fiance. Congrats to her. But we move on to one of my best events of 2023, which was Easter. And we started with some crazy stuff to shiny hatches out of nowhere, just every single day. And we actually hatched a Riolu and Rockruff back to back, which was awesome. But we move on. We got a Munchlax not long after that. Got ourselves a Pichu with the costume with the little flowers. Got ourselves a level 1 Teddy Ursa randomly. Got ourselves Togepi, tons of those. First ever. We finally completed the shiny Jirachi. This one taking me about a month and a little bit over a month. I think it was. Well, I think we got it the 17th of, yeah, so just under 2 months. Yeah, so just so you guys know, that Shaman research is not going to be easy. It's going to take you guys a while, but yeah, we'll be grinding it once we get it, and we're going to give a few away. If you guys didn't know that, we're giving away, as of right now, we're getting close to 15K. Once we hit 15K, we're giving away 4 tickets, which is awesome. But let's keep trying to grow the channel. If we hit certain milestones, we're going to keep giving away. And then when we get closer, we might make it a little bit easier to earn some extra tickets for you guys. But make sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed. If you're this far into the video, surely you're enjoying the videos, right? Thank you. Love you. My fiance would be mad if I don't say as a fan. Just so you guys know. But we move on. We got Togetic Community Day. Got a bunch of Togepis. Got ourselves a bunch of stuff, including Helioptile debut shiny. Love that thing. Got it. Got Stunfisk Research Day. Drober debuting as a shiny. Amazing shiny. Got my first ever Binacle. Got ourselves some cool trades here with Creepy TV. Shout out to you. As well as a 98% Mamoswine. And that was a sad day. That day alone, I transferred 43 shiny Pokemon because I basically made just a dumb error. Basically, I said, if I don't get a Shundo on Swinub Classic Com Day, I got to transfer every single shiny I catch. But you guys let me keep the 98. And I got a hundo that day. It just wasn't shiny. It just a lot. Okay. But we move on. We got ourselves a Bidoof, a Haunter, Hoppip, Weedle, Spearow, Hoppip again. Yeah, Hoppip. But we got ourselves, a Genesect, Cleaver Ray Day, and my birthday rolled around. And we got ourselves 3 shinies. After, getting coal for my birthday the last couple of years, I got 3 shinies last year, and we're definitely going to be going on a big grind for my birthday this year. That's all I know. But we got ourselves 3 shinies, a Tepig, Lantern, and a Pidove, which was pretty awesome. But then we move on, got a random trade with my fiance, and I got this. Yeah, we move on. We got Fennekin Com Day, got my first ever Nundo shiny, which was awesome. Then we move on, got tons of shinies. Had the Golden Research Day, which was a lot of fun. Got ourselves Axu Com Day, which was a lot of fun. Got tons of shinies there. Move on, we got Zigzagoon, we got Binacle, Nihilego, a tiny shiny Solrock, which is pretty awesome. A few shiny Fomantis during its debut event, which was awesome. A tiny shiny Turtonator, again, awesome. Got ourselves another 96% Lucky Ray. So close. I was trying to, because at this point we had known that Mega Ray was coming at that point for that trade, and I was trying my best to go ahead and get a great one for Mega Ray, and I got a 96 again. But you guys will see soon, we did get a better one in a raid. We'll talk about that. But then we got a huge shiny Mudkip, and you guys know how much I love Mudkip, and when I got this, I screamed. I was so happy. My favorite starter Pokemon of all time. I couldn't believe that I got that. Was super happy about it. Got Squirtle Recap Com Day, or Squirtle, yeah, Classic Com Day. Got 1 Squirtle Squad Squirtle. We got more on the second day. I think we had like an extra event for it. I forget the full reason why. But got a random Cranidos, got Swinub, Ponyta, got another lucky trade for Ray. This one was really bad. Got more Riolus during Riolu Hatch Day, including a Doduo and Chansey on that day. Got a tiny shiny Rockruff to start our second Squirtle Com Day, Squirtle Classic Com Day. I think there was like a glitch with some sort of thing, and they gave us an extra day for it. And I hatched back-to-back shiny Rockruff, one of which was tiny. It was absolutely crazy. But we move on. Got more Squirtles, and I almost got this Shundo Squirtle Squad Squirtle. It was 1 CP off the Shundo. It was absolutely crazy. So close. But we move on. We got Blitzels. We got a Smeargle, which was cool. I think I traded for that, actually. But all good. We move on. We got, what's it called? Adventure Week. We got Adventure Week 2023. We got ourselves a Tyrantrum, aka Tyrunt. We got 2 of those in that event. I traded one of the ones that I caught in the actual event because my fiance really wanted it before we went to New York Go Fest, which we're going to get to very, very soon with, wait, I don't think we're there yet. But before we get there, we got ourselves a Tortuga. We got ourselves a Corsola. First ever shiny Corsola. We did get a second one. We'll talk about that later. But we got that. We got an Amora that we actually traded for. We won't talk about that. We got a Petalil Mantike. I got 3 shiny Mantikes in 2023. It was absolutely crazy. Got a Swirlix before the zoo vlog. If you guys haven't checked that out, that was a really fun vlog. That came out a while ago too, so OG fans know. Well, not a while ago, just middle 2023, before my channel kind of blew up. Appreciate you guys. But we got a 98% Goku bad Lucario from a trade. It was so close to being a Shundo. I remember both me and my fiance were like, oh, so close. But it's all good. We move on. We got Froakie Community Day. We got ourselves an XXL shiny on that day. I was looking for it. There it is. Looks great. Got more shinies just laying around. Got another lucky trade that didn't go to plan. But that is where Go Fest New York starts. And we started with the Tentacle, and I got my 1000th shiny of 2023. It's crazy to think I finished with over 2,000 shinies. The grind for the end of 2023 was absolutely crazy. But as you can see, we got tons of shinies, including this, which was caught by Cruise Ship. Shout out to Cruise Ship, of course. And shout out to JT Valor for catching this Tentacruel for me. He also caught a Nose Pass for me, which we'll see a little bit later. But we got ourselves more shinies, including 96% shiny Clink. And this near Shundo, functional Hundo though, shiny Rayquaza, which of course we had the Mega Evolve, but I was so happy when I saw this thing, and it just looks great. But we got Archons, we got ourselves more shinies, Lucarios, which were in the wild, which was so cool. A Xerneas with the city background, it looks great with the New York City background. An exclamation mark unknown, which is a brand new unknown. So happy to pick that one up. I was actually really, really hyped. And I actually had this next to it. We gave up 2 shinies for the chance to get an exclamation mark unknown. If you guys didn't know, at GoFest, you can swap at the last minute just like Spotlight Hour, and I did that with those unknowns and got an exclamation mark and an A, but I did fail 3 shinies while doing it over the 3 days. Won't talk about those lost ones. But we move up. We move on to another Nose Pass, more Golitz, Golurk, Breloom, level 1, Shiny Unknown M, which was awesome. Got ourselves even more shinies. Mystic 7 caught me this shiny Shieldon, which was actually really, really good PvP IVs. I haven't used it in PvP, I'll be honest, but we'll do it at some point. Got the D in New York. Yeah. Move on. More shinies. Got Pawniard, got Throw, which is cool because, again, it took me forever to get shiny Throw, so I was happy about it. More unknowns. We actually got every single unknown that you could get during the event, which was awesome. Got a shiny Tyrant. Shout out to Karan, who's named after that one. We got Heatmore. We got Chimecho. We got Lucario again. More Golitz. Just so many shinies, and it was so much fun this event. Got ourselves a Pikachu, which took forever to get. So that was cool. Then we move on. Got ourselves Tyrant, Magby. Wait, Magby? Where did that come from? I don't even know. But yeah, we move on. We got this, an XXL Shiny Kangaskhan. My only XXL Shiny of the weekend, but it was a lot of fun. And to get that was really, really cool. And it's a regional, right? And not in my region. So really cool. Move on. We got more Rayquazas. We got lucky trades going on. We got trades everywhere. We got Xerneas lucky trade. Didn't go too well. And then right before GoFest Global, I got this at home. XXL Shiny Galarian Zigzagoon, absolutely crazy. But then GoFest Global started, and we got tons of shinies. Just so many. We got Joltik, we got new shinies, we got Goomy. Yes, love that shiny so much. I was very, very happy to pick up my first ever shiny Goomy. Finished the line. Also got a 96% shiny from a raid, which was really, really cool. We'll probably have that community day this year, but I still love that shiny. We also got another level 1 shiny unknown M. Crazy. Got Oranguru, level 1 shiny Remoraid. Goomy again, another Goomy. Beldums. We got so much stuff on this weekend. It was a lot of fun. Again, you can see just all the shinies, Rayquazas. We got a Hundo Groudon and Sunburnt Diglett. Love that shiny so much. But we move on. We got ourselves Pawniard. We got ourselves more shinies. Charmander. Recap Classic Calm Day. Tiny shiny Charizard, which is awesome. Well, it's a Charmander. We evolved it. Move on. We got some Wurmples. We got a bunch of shinies. And Lechonk. I love Lechonk so much. We didn't get 1, but we got actually 2 huge shiny Lechonks, which is awesome. As you can see, that's the normal size. That's the huge. Big pink pigs. But we move on. Got even more shinies. Artist Research Day. Got a 96 shiny. Got a wild shiny Pidgeot. Got Grubbin Calm Day, where we did get an XXL shiny with a minute left in the event. It was crazy. We got a Raikou. We got ourselves a Hisui Growlithe debut. Got tons of those. Got XXL shiny Psyduck, which was awesome. As you can see, just look at the size of that duck. He's a big boy. Got ourselves more Hisuian Growlithe. Got ourselves Growlithe. Azuro Hatch Day got a 96. Had actually back-to-back shiny Growlithe there. Crazy. Almost same CP as well. Aliens. Move on. Got ourselves some Pidgeys, got ourselves a level 1 Galarian Zigzagoon, and then we had the Detective Pikachu event, which we got so many shiny Slowpokes. We got 20 shiny Slowpokes in that event, got 5 shiny Pikas, got so many, absolutely popped off, and actually got a shiny Mantike at some point during that event, which was awesome, from an Adventure Sync 5K, and of course, this awesome little animation for the Pikachu. Gotta love it. But we move on, got more shinies, got Guzzlord, we got He's Trying. It's good IVs. Right, he's trying. Move on. We got ourselves a Timber Calm Day where we got a Pumpkaboo during it, which was crazy. We move on to get more Wurmples, Sunkern, and a Cottony. More Petalils. Then we got ourselves a Pumpkaboo during Spotlight Hour. We got a Munchlax, Misdrevious. And this actually starts the Halloween event for this year. We got a Kecleon. Nice and early, which was crazy. Also got ourselves a Riolu from eggs and a Munchlax from eggs, like we said. Got ourselves a Litwick. Darkrai, of course. Darkrai came back this year. I was very, very happy. Got 2 more shinies. Also got ourselves our first ever Phantom and followed it up with 2 in the Spotlight Hour. That was absolutely crazy. Was super hyped about those. Then we got ourselves more shinies. Galarian Zigzagoon. Level 1 shiny Spinarak. Got ourselves shinies out the wazoo. Got not 1 but 2 Chef Gengars. Looks great. We got our first ever shiny Zora. Shiny Phantom again, which was awesome in part 2. Got a random Dedenne. Not complaining. Also got ourselves a shiny shadow Bellsprout, our first shiny shadow of this rotation. Did get a second one, you guys will see that later. We got an XXL shiny with the Pumpkaboo. Also got a Piplup and Vulpix in their costumes. Probably going to evolve that Vulpix, still haven't decided though. But we also got a 93% Galarian Zigzagoon, still getting close to that Shundo, but not getting it. More Litwicks though, did get not one but two shiny Duskulls with the Flower Crown. Where did the other one go? There it is, a Dusknoir. I evolved it. Didn't get the Cubone though. Hope to get that next year. But we move on to Wooper Comday, where we did get something that we mentioned earlier, our first ever shiny Panpour, which we now evolved into Simipour. So happy about that. We did get a second one. We did get a second one recently, so we'll talk about that. Also hatched this on that day. 98% near Shundo, 1 CP off Lechonk. Love that thing so much. I should probably max that. We also did get this, a Goku Bad lucky trade. It was just a normal trade I did with my fiance to end the stream. It was on one of my craziest grinds. I think we had I don't know, was it I think, yeah, Chinchou Spotlight Hour. We got 2 Chinchows, a Slugma, a Litwick, and then Electric. The Litwick and Electric were back-to-back. Did a random trade with my fiance right as we got back to the car. And then, boom, it went lucky, and I got a 98% shiny. It was crazy. But then we got some Magnemites, Vulpigs, again, more stuff. I think this was on stream. Sorry, not I think. Some of these were on stream, but this was when we hit 10K subscribers. So thank you guys so much. You guys have been absolutely crazy with the support. We're already close to 15K. So thank you guys again. But we move on. We got our first ever shiny Morlo in his debut event, which was awesome. We got a second one later on in that event right here. Had Garchomp Raid Day. Got ourselves a 93 and 3 shinies in a row, which was crazy at one point. But then we got ourselves more shinies. And then we go into Fashion Week, which was pretty awesome. Got ourselves a shiny Pancham, some shiny Shinx with the top hat. Just so many shinies. And then we go into, wait, let's just continue on with the event first. Got ourselves more shinies, costume shinies. Not 1, not 2, but 3 shiny Gothittas. Absolutely crazy. Hatched those all in the same day. A Pichu with the hat, which was so cool. And then we got ourselves our first shiny male Frillish. And they got a tiny shiny level 1 male Frillish, one of my rare shinies in my collection. But that starts the 10-hour stream where we got ourselves so many shinies. We got multiple shiny Furfros, multiple shiny Absols. Got a Diglett with the top hat. Love it. Brogunk. Low battery mode. Got ourselves multiple Shinx, and then was there Mareep in that stream? I'm not 100% sure. But then we got ourselves a Pikachu with the hat, which was awesome. Got that with like 30 minutes left in the event. Got ourselves a Swirlix. Got 2 shiny Dunsparce during that Spotlight Hour. Did ourselves a lucky trade with my boy John. Got a 93 Kyogre, but did a trade with the boy Karan and got ourselves this. Thank you, Karan, for trading that to me, because I didn't get it myself. But we move on. We got ourselves a Furfro, Fomantis, multiple Cobalions, a Terrakion, Mareep Classic Comday comes around, and we got ourselves an XXL shiny Mareep, which was awesome. And then we move down all the way through that. Got a level 1 as well. Then we move on. We got a Wooper. I think that was from a trade. But we move on. We got a Terrakion, Audinose. Those were from trades. Spinda, which was really, really cool. Spinda, Hisuian Growlithe, Gothita. Was happy about those to pick up extra Gothitas and more Hisuian Growlithe. Love that shiny. And another Spinda. Only have a few of those. But then we got ourselves Lechonk during the Spotlight Hour. Got ourselves a Timple, which was our first of the brand new season. 2,000 shinies we hit on December 3rd for 2023, which is pretty awesome. Not 2,000 shinies total, but 2,000 shinies in the year 2023. Also got a shiny Tauros, had ourselves Samurott Raid Day, got ourselves some awesome stuff. Got Hisuian Sneasel #1, and then had the craziest Spotlight Hour because it was boosted. Absolutely popped off. Got 8 shinies, and then got 1 as we got home. It was crazy. Feebas loved us. Got 2 shiny Bonsleys, and then finished up the event on the final day with a shiny Hisuian Sneasel, which was awesome. Love that shiny. But then we move on and got ourselves some Lillipups. Got ourselves a Pichu, which was awesome. A Bunnelby, some Bergmites during Cryogonal Day. A shiny Shadow Zapdos, which is so close to being a purifiable Shadow. So close. But then we move on. Got ourselves some Bronzor, some Glalie. Well, not some Glalie. We got a wild shiny Glalie, which is awesome. We actually have 2 of those now. We'll talk about the other one later. Got ourselves some Dittos. We traded for a Solosis. Got a Goomy in a lucky trade with my fiance. Well, we just did a normal trade and it was lucky, which is cool. Got a level 1 shiny Ditto. Really, really cool. Move on, got some more stuff, got more Dittos, got Recap Calm Day, which was a lot of fun, got tons of shinies, and got to spend a lot of that with you guys on stream as well, which was really, really cool. Then we move on. Man, so many shinies there. A lot. Might have to transfer some of those. But then we started the holidays event where we started with a tiny shiny Scyther And then got a female shiny Combi, which was absolutely crazy. We move on, got tons of shinies, Eevees. We got all 3 of these Eevees with the costume in the same day. It was absolutely crazy. Got ourselves a Jinx, some Darumaka's, got ourselves a Mankey randomly. Weirdeer raid day was crazy. Got so many of those. Got ourselves some traded shinies, but we did get a Lechonk on that day, which was awesome. Got ourselves an Amora the day before, which was awesome as well. We had the Lechonk, I think, on the house as well. But then we got a Roggenrola. Roggenrola? Was that from a trade? It was from a trade. Sorry. Got a Ditto. That was also from a trade. Sorry. We got a Regigigas, Darumaka, some Lapras, Giratina. Giratina. Again, traded. Sorry. We move on. The Latios is also trades. I think, that's when we were taking advantage of the 5 trades a day. That's why. I was like, why do I have so many traded things? Then we got our first ever shiny Cleffa, which was awesome. And then we got ourselves this the next day, second day of its debut. We got the shiny Psyduck with the costume. I love that thing so much. It's right now my buddy. Slowly being worked, the best buddies. And yeah, we're going to get it there eventually. But got some Regigigas, got some Eevees, and got a shiny Shadow Dratini, which was absolutely amazing. And that brought some pink vibes, because we got Pink Bro 1 and Pink Bro 2. These were back-to-back shinies, which was nuts. I still can't believe that. They're both full odds. Back-to-back, absolutely crazy. But we move on with the rest of this event. Got ourselves a Corsola, which was awesome. Heracross and Corsola during the holidays event. It was crazy. Still can't believe that. But then we got ourselves New Year's rolling around. We got ourselves a Jigglypuff, which was awesome. And that Corsola was caught, on the 30th of December, which was pretty cool. But then we got ourselves a Jigglypuff. That took us so much grinding to get. It was on the second day, but it took us a lot of grinding to get. I think we're like 500 encounters in. And then got our second one on the second day, which was awesome. Was super happy to pick up those. Ended up getting 2 of them, which was awesome. Also got ourselves an XXL Wild Shiny Venusaur, which was absolutely amazing. Love that thing so much. Also got the Almighty Bidoof. Gotta love it. Then Rowlet Calm Day rolled around. Got a ton of shinies of those, and I love that shiny. And then we got ourselves, right as we left Florida, shiny Panpour. On the last grind of Florida, we got that, a Yungoos, and a Ghastly. Was pretty happy about it. Then we got ourselves a Zigzagoon and Rockruff as we came back up north to the cold. And I guess it is what it is, but we did get a Rockruff, got a Galarian Meowth, which was pretty awesome. Got ourselves a Caterpie, and more. Got another Rockruff that wasn't, unfortunately, Dust Form. This was during that event. We did trade a Rowlet for a Rowlet with my friend. But we also got ourselves a Tornadus during Raid Hour, which was awesome. Yeah, fun. Then we move on, got a bunch of Bronzors. It became a little bit of a theme recently. Got ourselves a wild shiny Glalie, which was awesome, and that started the last event that we just had. And actually, sorry, the Clefairy did. And we move on to the last event that we just had, and we got ourselves 4 shiny Cutie Flies, a bunch of Typhlosions. And as you can see, my 4,000th shiny of all time was this Hisuian Typhlosion, which I didn't even realize. It was actually one that we had back-to-back, the second of the back-to-backs from the night before. Got ourselves a Dedenne, a Pidove, more Lol, more shinies all over the place. Cutie Fly everywhere, which is awesome. And then we move on to a shiny you guys haven't seen it yet in a vlog with Sentret. It's coming out in tomorrow's vlog, but we got tons of shinies, and that is all the shinies in my account. Let's see if we can add another one. You know what? A little bit of a cluster for you guys for the end of the video. Let's see if we can add another one. And comment down below, how many shinies have you caught in Pokemon Go? I know this video is really, really long. Hopefully you guys still enjoyed it. It was absolutely hectic. There's so many shinies in my account. Honestly, I didn't expect to sit here for an hour and make a video for you guys this long, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know you guys have been asking for this video, so hopefully you guys, again, enjoyed it. Over 3,400 shinies in game, 4,000 shinies all time. I've transferred a bunch of shinies, but trust me, a lot of them are stuff I have already in my account. I've never transferred a shiny that I didn't already have. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys thought it was cool. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below how many shinies you guys have. And thank you guys again for 14.7K. You guys have been insane with the support on the channel. And me and Mudkip will see you in the next video. Peace.